Hello there and welcome. Spring is upon us and it is time to start to do our pond. It's still pretty chilly and it's not really a job I've been looking forward to, but if I leave it in this state, then things this summer are going to be a bit rubbish for this pond. Now, there's a few things that you need to do during the spring, and it's kind of important to do them during the spring because this is the time which makes it or breaks it as far as your pond is concerned. It's also a good time because the bacterial load on the pond isn't too high at the moment. The fish are still sort of asleep. The bacteria haven't really become that active. So doing some major works now is a good time because it won't really disrupt much. If you leave it too late, then you're going to get a bit of an ammonia spike further down the line, which won't be very good for your fish. There's quite a list of jobs to be done. We're going to be cleaning our filter and pumps. We're going to be removing any blanket weed that has appeared over the prior months, and we're going to do a little bit of weeding, take out some plants that have overgrown their neighbours and put some new ones in which I've bought, because not everything has come through and survived to this year, so we're going to just make it look a bit nicer. Also, you can see the water is a little bit green, and I'm going to do a bit of a water change as well. So on this pond, to actually do all those jobs, it's quite easy. It's quite a small patio pond. It's nothing flashy and special, but the principle is the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out all my pots, and I'm going to take out any of the weeds that are inside of them, get rid of all this dead plant matter that's built up over time, and there's oak leaves and all sorts of stuff in there. Remove any blanket weed that's built up. I'm going to remove any weeds like that grass, that's where that miniature bulrush should be, and I'm going to trim back anything which is already starting to take over, like this mimula is already starting to enjoy this spring sunshine, so I'm going to trim that back and hold it back a little bit. So plants are done. As you can see, I've dragged out a lot of the dead growth from last year. I've removed as much of the roots I could have. I'm going to leave a little bit because I don't want to completely annoy the plant, but most of what was sticking out of the pot has been removed, especially from this mint. Just a little tip, if you want a mint plant, don't put it near anything else because it will overtake it and almost kill it. I mean, I found mint in most of my plants, so it's very voracious, so I'm going to look into that when I put this back. Here's all the rubbish that I got out. What a mess this is. I couldn't find any room for that one, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to get another pot. But it's generally quite nice. I've put some fresh gravel on. It's all looking pretty nice, a lot better than it did. Got cold hands, and that is the downside of doing this job. It is freezing, and that water is probably 10 degrees. And it's a horrible job. No one wants to do it, but it's very essential to do it at this time of year. So the next thing to do, I'm going to get that pump out. I'm going to give it a really good clean, including the impeller, because it hasn't been done since the start of last year. It still works, but it needs doing a bit more regularly than that. Also, if you've got an actual pond pump and filter kit, then you're going to want to change your UV. This one doesn't have it because it's actually a aquarium external filter that I'm using, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have a UV, so I don't need to change it, but you would do. And also give your sponges and bits and pieces inside of it a clean, which I've already done, so I'm a bit of a head on that one. Clean your pump a bit more often because we get all of this rubbish build up. So this is leaves and algae and all sorts of crap that's built up. Now this pump's got this outer casing which lets water in but stops this rubbish getting in there. Most pumps do that. It's like just a solid protection basically, but the more of that you get wedged on there, and it was worse since when I pulled it out, the more leaves and rubbish you get put on there, the less flow is going to be able to get into your pond pump, and as a result your filter isn't going to be working as well. So this needs to be done a bit more regularly. We've even got earthworms living in it, which is a bit of a sorry state, but let's get her open and see what the inside looks like. So do you know what, that's not too bad actually. I was expecting a lot worse. The impeller still pretty clear, pretty clean. I will be taking this out. You've got to unscrew these things here. Take it out and I'll give it a good clean, good bit of maintenance, but this casing's done its job by the looks of it. It's kept all the rubbish out and it's kept the pump running, so that's good enough for me. I'm going to give it a clean and stick it back in. Right, so what have we done? Pond plants sorted. We've got our filtration sorted. The next thing we need to tend to is actually the water. Now I've stirred it up, it's gone like a pea soup, which is lovely. So we need to do a water change. So I'm going to drain out a fair bit of this, to be quite honest. How much you drain out is completely dependent on you and how comfortable you are with doing large water changes, but I'm going to be draining quite a lot of it. Another thing you might want to consider is, if you've got a big pond, getting a pond hoover and just hoovering up a lot of the rubbish that settles on the bottom. I'm not going to use a pond hoover because it's a tiny little pond. I'm going to use a net. I'm just going to basically dredge, take out any leaves and rubbish that's accumulated, and then I'm going to do a water change. Alright then, that is all of our jobs done. So we've cleaned our pump and filter. What a bastard. Look at that. Interrupting me right in the middle of what I'm trying to say. That isn't going to be there anymore. Cool. Anyway, so what do? We've done our pump and filter. We have sorted our plants out. They look a lot nicer, I think, now. Put some fresh gravel on there as well. I'm surprised actually how much they're coming back really quickly. I was a bit devastated last year because I didn't do too well, especially this little bulrush, but it's having a good time. I'm desperately hoping that this Ponditaria here is coming back, so I haven't removed it. I'm giving it a chance because it's kind of a bulby plant, so I know that it's going to be dead 1 minute and then it's going to be shooting up the next, so hopefully that will come back. But everything's looking really nice. Did a big water change, still a bit murky, but hopefully this filter will sort that out. The fish are looking all in good health. The lily's looking good. Everything's looking good. So this is the kind of thing you're going to want to be doing at this time of year when it's tolerable to come out and sort your pond out, especially before it gets over around 15 degrees water temperature. You want to get all these jobs done. So thanks for watching. I hope this has been entertaining and informative. If you'd like to see more of this kind of content, please like and subscribe to my channel. Once again, thanks for watching and happy fish keeping.